Part 62. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 611. Chapter 611 Having you in this life is enough. Yu Lingfeng changed the subject. Let's not talk about this anymore. I want to go out. Where to? Xia Ying looked at Yu Lingfeng with wide eyes. Rong Ci came to me and wanted to tell me about the assassination of Jun Chenai. Is there any result? I don't know yet, he just said to let me out. All right. Xia Ying took a deep breath and said, then you go early and come back early. One more thing. Yu Lingfeng looked at Xia Ying's pink lips, moved his throat, and said in a hoarse voice. What? Xia Ying raised her head and looked at Yu Lingfeng. The next second, her lips felt cold. Yu Lingfeng leaned down and applied it to Xia Ying's lips. Xia Ying was stunned for a moment, and Yu Lingfeng reached out to hold Xia Ying in his arms, kissing Xia Ying softly, as if Xia Ying was a fragile treasure. After a minute, Yu Lingfeng reluctantly let go of Xia Ying. Yu Lingfeng leaned close to Xia Ying's ear and whispered, I haven't kissed you for a long time, but you are still so sweet. Xia Ying was numbed by Yu Lingfeng's seductive words. She stared blankly and didn't know what to say in reply. Remember what I told you, don't fall in love with others. Yu Lingfeng added another sentence. Xia Ying turned around and looked at Yu Lingfeng's slightly trembling long eyelashes. Her pupils were covered with a layer of fog, hazy and charming. Yu Lingfeng's eyes were always so seductive. Even though she had known him for so long, Xia Ying still didn't dare to look directly at Yu Lingfeng for too long. Perhaps what Chu Shenxiu said is right. Yu Lingfeng is a monster who has been practicing for thousands of years. If you don't pay attention, he will take away 3 souls and 7 souls. Xia Ying only then realized that what Yu Lingfeng had just said, that he was also very fragile, was not a joke. He's really vulnerable. When Jun Chenai was chasing Xia Ying, Yu Lingfeng told her more than once that she should not fall in love prematurely or be tempted by Chu Shenxiu. Even Hanzija and Yu Lingfeng had always emphasized at the beginning that they should hurry up and get married. He breaks up. Every time Xia Ying received a love letter, Yu Lingfeng would struggle for a long time to figure out who wrote it. Then, those people never wrote any love letters to her again. Xia Ying actually knew it, and Yu Lingfeng secretly wrote it to her. She cut a lot of peach blossoms. Thinking about it this way, Yu Lingfeng is really fragile. How much does he not believe her feelings for him? If a suspicious person appears, he will put the other person in a hostile position. Even for an autistic and immature person like Stefan, Yu Lingfeng is worried that Xia Ying will fall in love with him. Thinking of this, Xia Ying curled her lips slightly and smiled faintly. Xia Ying stood on tiptoes and kissed Yu Lingfeng's lips softly. She arched her eyebrows and said to him in a low voice, Yu Lingfeng, I don't know how to do it. If you like someone else, you are enough for the rest of your life. Yu Lingfeng raised the corners of his mouth, revealing a charming smile. At this time, Yu Lingfeng suddenly felt that something was wrong. He lowered his head and saw that all the little goo worms in Xia Ying's goo worm necklace had poked their heads out, staring at Xia Ying and Yu Lingfeng, and they all looked at each other. The ground blinked with stars, as if she was also sweetened by them. Yu Lingfeng stared at the group of little goo insects coldly. The little goo insects immediately realized that something was wrong and quickly retracted their bodies. Haha, Yu Lingfeng, they are still afraid of you. Xia Ying stroked the goo insect necklace twice and said to Yu Lingfeng. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 612. Chapter 612, Will you have a baby with Yu Lingfeng? Yu Lingfeng glanced at the group of goo insects and didn't say anything. He just stretched out his palm and touched the top of Xia Ying's head and said, Go and practice the piano with Stefan. I'll go out first. Good. Xia Ying nodded, and Yu Lingfeng turned and left. Xia Ying came to the piano room again. Stefan was studying something alone with his head down, his eyes glancing at the music score from time to time. Hearing the news of Xia Ying's arrival, Stefan quickly put down the music score and walked towards Xia Ying. "Stefan, what are you doing?" Xia Ying looked at Stefan with a faint smile and asked. "Revise the score." Stefan said. "It's already very good, do you still need to modify it?" Stefan nodded extremely seriously, then led Xia Ying towards the piano, and pointed to the content of the music score he had just revised for Xia Ying to see. "This piece of music is a divine piece of music in everyone's eyes. It is perfect. Only Stefan would feel that it has flaws and needs to be modified." Xia Ying looked at Stefan's serious modifications with tenderness, and a casual smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. When Stefan was obsessed with music, everything in the outside world had nothing to do with him. After revising the tune, Xia Ying and Stefan played it a few times. At first, Xia Ying was not used to it, but after the second play, the rhythm got better and better, and she became more and more able to appreciate the charm of the piece. "Stefan, I really like this piece." Xia Ying was sincerely impressed. She hadn't encountered such a piece of music that moved her heart for a long time. She couldn't help but want to write lyrics for this piece of music and then perform its beauty. Stefan was very happy when he heard Xia Ying said he liked her. Stefan suddenly looked at Xia Ying's eyebrows and asked, "Xia Ying, do you like Stefan?" Xia Ying was stunned for a moment, then stared into Stefan's extremely serious eyes, smiled slightly, and said without hesitation, "Of course I like it." When Stephen heard this, his heart felt like honey, and his face immediately blossomed with joy. Xia Ying likes Yu Lingfeng, and Xia Ying also likes him. Then, "Xia Ying, can you marry Stefan?" Stefan spoke every word carefully. Xia Ying finally understood that the love Stefan said was different from what she said. Or perhaps, Stefan simply doesn't know the difference between the two loves. In Stefan's world, if you like each other, you can spend a lifetime together. So when Xia Ying says she likes him, does it mean that Xia Ying can marry him and stay with him for the rest of her life? No, Stefan. Xia Ying shook her head and said, "The love I am talking about is a sister. The love for a younger brother is a kind of love and protection. It is the kind of couple you mentioned. The love between them is different." Stefan's clear and lively eyes immediately became dim. Xia Ying's liking for him was different from Yu Lingfeng's. Then Xia Ying, will you marry Yu Lingfeng? Stefan asked again. Xia Ying nodded without hesitation. Will you have a baby with Yu Lingfeng? Stefan asked, tilting his head. If Xia Ying marries Yu Lingfeng, just like Stefan's mother marrying his father, she will eventually give birth to a child belonging to them. Xia Ying blushed, but nodded, yes. Stefan pursed his lips and thought for a while, then said to Xia Ying with firm eyes, Stefan, you will protect Xia Ying's baby. Xia Ying was amused by Stefan's serious look. Stefan, it will take a long time. End of this chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 613. Chapter 613. The parents of the Jun family are really big-hearted. How long is it? Stefan asked again. It will take at least 5 years. I still have to go to college. Xia Ying patiently explained to Stefan. Good. Stefan silently made a note in his mind that in 5 years, he would be able to see Xia Ying's baby. Must be as cute and beautiful as Xia Ying. Yu Lingfeng went out to meet with Rong Ci. Rong Ci bluntly said that he had not found any clues and hoped that Yu Lingfeng could help him. Yu Lingfeng just looked at his full cup of coffee and said indifferently, actually, I don't want to get involved in your family's affairs. Rong Si sighed, half helpless and half melancholy, I know it's troublesome for you. It's really troublesome. Yu Lingfeng raised his eyes, looked at Rong Si and said. Yu Lingfeng also knew a thing or two about the situation of the Jun family in his previous life. In order to fight for inheritance rights and property, families kill each other, and Jun Chenai becomes a tragic victim. If you really want to get involved in the ups and downs of their Jun family, it will be a very troublesome thing. Yu Lingfeng has more important things to do at the moment. He has to protect Xia Ying. Yu Lingfeng had also speculated before that the organization that assassinated Jun Chenai and Xia Ying might be the same. But it was obvious that Jun Chenai was being targeted by people from the Jun family. As for Xia Ying, Yu Lingfeng hadn't figured out the reason yet. Therefore, Yu Lingfeng has no way to rule out other possibilities. If the two are not related and it is just a coincidence, Xia Ying will be in danger when investigating the Jun family. Yu Lingfeng was unwilling to take this risk, so the Jun family's affairs should be left to the Jun family to handle themselves. All he can care about is Xia Ying's affairs. Has the witch come to see you yet? Yu Lingfeng stirred the coffee and asked Rong Si slowly. There is none left. Rong Si sighed, I have been worried a while ago, but she never appeared again. After being silent for so long, there are only two possibilities. Yu Lingfeng said calmly. One kind, the witch takes revenge and leaves. Second, the witch has more important things to do, and now it is just the calm before the storm. I know what you mean. Rong Si moved his lips and spoke. Seriously, you, who are not from the Jun family, are so kind to Jun Chenai, while those who are also from the Jun family only want him to die one by one. This contrast is really ridiculous. You are right. Rong Si felt helpless. Chen Yi and I grew up together, and I don't want to see him like this. In fact, he knows everything, but he just doesn't talk about it. Since he was young, Jun Chenai has always known whether people in his family have true feelings for him or not. Except for parents, everyone else is fake. Even his parents don't care much about him. Other than Rong Si, Jun Chenai has no one to rely on in this family. Why do Jun Chenai's parents always ignore him? Have you told his parents about these things? Since someone wants to assassinate Jun Chenai, shouldn't the father and mother of the king be more concerned than ordinary people? Most of the Jun family's assets are abroad, and they are busy with business there. I have always been in charge of Chenai. The parents of the Jun family are really big-hearted. Yu Lingfeng said half-jokingly. Her son was about to be murdered and he was only thinking about his own business. You must know that if Jun Chenai becomes the heir to the Jun family, they will be the direct beneficiaries. Yu Lingfeng really couldn't understand the reason why they had been staying abroad and separated from Jun Chenai. Thanks to the little cutie, the future is bright and Zolian for the reward. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 614. Chapter 614. Hanzija came to find her. Although I don't know the reason, Chen Yi's parents still care about him. When Chen Yi was young, they arranged everything. It was also their idea to go to school incognito. But later Chen Yi, after entering the entertainment industry, they didn't care much about him. I thought maybe their original intention was to train him well. After all, Chen Yi will be Jun, the head of the family, and the entire Jun family cannot be left in charge of a young master who knows nothing and can only rely on others to protect him. Having said that, he is just a 19-year-old kid now. Facing such a killer organization, he will definitely not be able to deal with it alone. The other party can actually unite with the forces of Hollywood to attack him, which shows that the power must be very big. Yu Lingfeng continued, but I have to say that the other party is very smart. Jun Chenai is protected by a group of people at other times. Only when filming will he let them relax their vigilance against a performance accident. The title is indeed not something that people would expect. Since it's not yet clear which branch of the Jun family wants to kill Chen Yi, the only thing I can do now is to strengthen the protection of Chen Yi. I will be there during his filming, and I will also tell the bodyguards around him to be more careful. Wrong, see, I said. Yu Lingfeng nodded. By the way, does Chen Yi know that someone is trying to harm him? I know it, I knew it before you did. Wrong, see, I sighed. He must feel very uncomfortable. Now Jun Chennai is 19 years old, and the day for him to take over the Jun family is getting closer and closer, so those people can't wait to start targeting him. If he had waited a few more years and Jun Chennai had matured mentally and his abilities in all aspects had been greatly improved, it would have been difficult to start. After Rong Ci and Yu Lingfeng finished chatting, the two separated. Some recent things are becoming increasingly difficult to understand, but some things seem to be becoming increasingly clear. After finishing the college entrance examination, Mu Niankai stayed at home during the summer vacation, practicing piano and playing music. Although it seemed fulfilling, Mu Niankai actually felt bored. But there is no other way. Xia Ying has been practicing piano with Stefan recently. It would be inappropriate for her to disturb him, and Mu Niankai doesn't want to have contact with other friends. Those young ladies are so difficult to deal with, and they always talk about fashion and other topics together, such as which brand's latest clothes are more beautiful, and a certain international supermodel's latest clothes are terrible. Mu Niankai feels very bored. She didn't know why she liked these things before. Mu Niankai was practicing the piano when the maid came over to inform her that Hanzija was here to see her. Mu Niankai stopped practicing the piano and frowned in thought. Why did Hanzija come to see her? Although they are still pretending to be a couple, Mu Niankai and Hanzija have not been in contact with each other for a long time. But a few days ago, Hanzija asked Mu Niankai to send him some photos. Hanzija said he wanted to make some composite photos to deceive his parents into thinking that he and Mu Niankai had been in contact recently. Mu Niankai didn't think anything, so she randomly selected a few pictures and sent them to Hanzija. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 615. Chapter 615, Shame Reaches Its Limit. Mu Niankai walked to the living room, where Hanzija was sitting on the sofa, drinking tea slowly. Mu Niankai looked at Hanzija's sculptured profile. His facial features were firm and tough, but they didn't give people a cold feeling. Because Hanzija was born with a pair of charming peach blossom eyes, which seemed to be smiling but not smiling, and his every frown and smile were full of charm. Hanzija usually only needs to wink at the girls and curl his lips slightly, and the girls will be fascinated. This guy is really a born playboy. External conditions, coupled with internal structure, create his unique characteristics. It exudes playfulness and unreliability from the inside out. Mu Niankai thought so and rolled her eyes at Hanzija. This roll of eyes fell in Hanzija's eyes by chance. Hanzija felt a little baffled. He looked at Mu Niankai with half-squinted eyes and asked, "I haven't seen you for so long, and you still have this expression? By the way, are the college entrance examination scores coming out soon? It's a thing whether you can pass the exam or not so big. Wouldn't it be nice not to pass the exam, at least I don't have to see your flat face." Mu Niankai pouted and said angrily, then sat on the sofa nearby. Hanzija laughed lightly, "So what if I pass the exam? You won't be able to see me either? I'm very busy, young master." Mu Niankai looked at Hanzija with disgust and said, "Busy picking up girls? You know me so well." Hanzija raised his eyebrows and took a sip of tea, with a smile on his face. "I said, you came to me just to make me sick, right?" Mu Niankai glanced at Hanzija and said, "This is just one of the reasons." Hanzija smiled calmly, then took out a gilded black invitation and placed it on the coffee table. "What's this?" Mu Niankai glanced at it, but there was no emotion on her face. There is a charity party tonight. I am going to attend it on behalf of our Han enterprise, and I am required to bring a female companion, so do you understand? Hansaja said to Muniankai with a smile in his eyes. Muniankai frowned and said displeasedly, Hansaja, are you done yet? When will our contract end? Just wait until I find my next girlfriend. Hansaja stared at Muniankai's face, which was red with anger. Muniankai snorted and said disdainfully, come on, when you find a girlfriend, isn't it just a matter of hooking up with someone on the street? Although I'm very grateful that you think so highly of me, I still want to make it clear that after we became a couple, I have always been guarded by you and have not gone out to pick up girls. Muniankai rolled her eyes, oh, you think I believe it? Why don't you believe it? Hansaja frowned and asked. I just visited the forum of Imperial University a few days ago, and there were so many titles like Fashionable School Sweetheart, Hansaja's new girlfriend revealed, and a detailed list of Hansaja's girlfriends. I shouldn't have too many titles, okay. Hansaja looked at Muniankai's angry expression when she complained, and couldn't help but be amused by her. I asked, are you paying so much attention to me behind my back? Muniankai was so angry that she almost flipped the table. Could this guy be any thicker? Are you afraid that you have reached your limit? It's not because there are so many heroic deeds of a certain person that I can't even count them. It's hard for me to ignore them. Muniankai said angrily. It's just gossip, don't take it so seriously. Hansaja looked at Muniankai with a smile. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 616. Chapter 616. I don't expect the dog to stop eating shit. As soon as Hansaja finished speaking, Muniankai was stunned. Wait a minute, is this development not quite right? Why did she become like a sad girlfriend who caught evidence of her boyfriend's cheating? Oh my god, this weird personality and positioning has nothing to do with her. She needs to get rid of it as soon as possible. Whatever happens to you has nothing to do with me. I don't want to worry about your affairs. Muniankai crossed her arms and said seriously. Well, it's okay, I'll be self-disciplined. Muniankai. What? What is this development trend? By the way, don't forget about this party. I will wear a black dress and a blue tie. Remember to dress to match me. I will come to pick you up at 7 o'clock. Hansaja stood up after speaking and prepared to leave. Muniankai sat on the sofa and ignored him as if she hadn't heard what he said. However, Hansaja knew that she had heard it, so he did not repeat it. Girl, since you've been admitted to Taito University, you should gather your mind and make preparations also. Don't go to Taiba. I've been doing nothing for many years. Muniankai glared at Hansaja and said word by word, I don't expect the dog to stop eating shit. Hansaja frowned, it's so ugly to speak. No seniors will like such a schoolgirl. After Hansaja finished speaking, he curled his lips and revealed a charming smile, and then left. At that moment, Muniankai actually felt that Hansaja was handsome and charming. Ah, you are such a charming fart, a playboy and a scumbag. Not long after Hansaja left, Muniankai returned to her room and looked at her dressing room. Oh my god, she seemed to have no suitable dress to wear. Muniankai asked the people in the store to give her some of the latest styles. Muniankai looked at those colorful dresses and suddenly had difficulty choosing again. Ah, headache. Muniankai held her head, feeling very troubled. Muniankai took photos of each dress and sent them to the WeChat chat group with Xia Ying and Yeziaksun. Mu Fairy, please help me take a look, which one looks better? Well, I prefer the pink one. Pink. Wouldn't it be too ladylike? And it's a tube top, wouldn't it be a bit revealing? It doesn't feel right for me. Xiaxian, the red one is nice. Red. Wouldn't it be a bit too colorful? Xiaxian, what about the off-white one? It seems too plain again. Xiaxian, why are you so picky? What are you going to do? Participated in a charity party. Xiaxian, let's go with the pink one. It's okay to change the style occasionally. Yamoxian, I think the pink one is very nice, both fairy and beautiful. Remember to take a photo when you put it on to show us. Okay, since you all say it looks good, let's take this one. Mu Niankai put on the dress, and both Xia Ying and Ye Xiaoxun praised her. Mu Niankai decided to wear this one. However, since Hanzija wanted to wear a blue tie, Mu Niankai decided to wear a blue handbag. Having put on makeup and prepared everything, Mu Niankai sat at home and waited for Hanzija to pick her up. When Mu's father and Mu's mother came back and saw Mu Niankai dressed so formally, their eyes lit up and they asked, Niankai, where are you going when you dress up so nicely? End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 617. Chapter 617 Our relationship must be cancelled. That, Mu Niankai thought for a while. Although there was nothing to hide from going to the charity party with Hanzija, Mu Niankai subconsciously didn't want to say that. She didn't want to continue to be a couple with Hanzija, so she naturally didn't want her parents to think that her current relationship with Hanzija was very good. There was a party, and a few little sisters and I went there to have fun. However, Mu Niankai never expected that Hanzija would walk into the living room just after she said this. Hanzija is wearing a black suit, a navy blue tie, and his hair is carefully taken care of. He is not as bohemian as before, but rather handsome and serious. Hanzija's facial features are impeccable. When dressed up, he looks like a dog. If you don't know better, you really think he is some kind of gentleman. Even though Mu Niankai was thinking this, she still couldn't help but look at it a few more times. Well, there are eye-catching things in front of you. If you don't look at them, you won't see them in vain. Hanzija had a harmless smile on his face, bowed slightly to Mu's father and Mu's mother very politely, and then said, Hello, uncle and aunt, I'm here to pick up Nianqi. As soon as the Mu family's parents saw Hanzija's handsome appearance, coupled with his charming smile and graceful demeanor, they were immediately happy from ear to ear. I almost forgot that Nianqi and Hanzija were a couple. It was not too common to attend parties together. Then, Mu Niankai's lie just now was naturally blamed by the Mu family's parents for being shy. Although the Mu family's parents didn't say anything, the look on Mu Niankai's expression showed their inner drama. That look seemed to say, ouch, our Nianqi is actually shy. This couple is so sweet. Mu Niankai was full of laughter, but she had no choice but to follow Hanzija with a stinking face. Hanzija gestured to Mu Niankai with his arm, asking Mu Niankai to hold his arm. Mu Niankai rolled her eyes first, and then put her hand up. The Mu family's parents could not suppress their laughter behind them, as if they had a grown-up daughter in our family. Hanzija turned slightly and said to the Mu parents, Uncle and aunt, please don't worry, I will definitely send Nianqi back as soon as possible. Oh, it doesn't matter, we old people can't take care of your young people's affairs, just have fun outside. Mu's mother said, and after speaking, she glanced at Hanzija. Mu Niankai was completely stunned. Her mother, a nymphomaniac, sold her to Hanzija, a weasel like this. Hanzija smiled and said nothing, then said goodbye and took Mu Niankai to the car. After getting in the car, Mu Niankai immediately kept her distance from Hanzija. Your mother is so cute. Hanzija said with a faint smile. Mu Niankai said disdainfully, and then for some reason, she subconsciously said, if you like it, just take it and be your mother. As soon as Mu Niankai said this, she felt as if something was wrong. How could her mother be Hanzaja's mother? Isn't this a mess? Hanzaja obviously thought of this aspect, but he just smiled and said nothing else. Hanzaja, let me tell you, our contractual relationship must be cancelled before I go to college at the latest. Muniankai said seriously. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 618. Chapter 618 Hanzaja, you stinky gangster. Good. Hanzaja did not hesitate and nodded in agreement. But, can I still come to your house for dinner in the future? Hanzaja suddenly said in a non-serious manner, the food cooked by your mother is really delicious. Hanzaja came to Muniankai's house for dinner last time, and was invited by Mu's mother. Then, Hanzaja fell in love with the food cooked by Mu's mother. What do you think? Muniankai glared at Hanzaja and said through gritted teeth. I think even if we break up, depending on how much Auntie likes me, it shouldn't be difficult to go to your house for dinner. Hanzaja analyzed it seriously. You pay attention to your wording. We are not breaking up because we have never been together. We are cancelling cooperation. Muniankai said word for word. Okay, Miss Mu, everything you say is right. Hanzaja shook his head and said helplessly. Muniankai crossed her arms and turned to look out the window. Hanzaja's casual glance happened to glance at the ravine in front of Muniankai's chest. Coupled with Hanzaja's geographical advantage, he was so condescending that it made people's blood boil. Hey, I said, we are going to a charity party. What do you mean you are dressed like a beauty pageant? Hanzaja was obviously dissatisfied with Muniankai's outfit today. Muniankai turned to look at him and found that Hanzaja's eyes were lingering on her chest. She blushed with embarrassment and immediately covered her chest with her hands and shouted to Hanzaja, where are you looking? You bastard! Hanzaja coughed twice and said helplessly, if you are a real gangster, I won't remind you. If you weren't a gangster, you wouldn't be blind. Muniankai's face turned red and she yelled at Hanzaja angrily. Hanzaja covered his mouth with his fist and coughed twice. Just after looking at it twice, he felt a little hot at the base of his ears. It was a shame. A normal male would look at you dressed like this, right? Before Hanzaja finished speaking, Muniankai hit Hanzaja on the head with a violent force. If you say such rascally things again, I'll throw you out of the car. Hanzaja covered his injured head in pain and said, you stinky girl, are you being unreasonable? I'm kindly reminding you, you don't appreciate it and you still beat me. Besides, this is my car, are you sure you threw me away? Muniankai was stunned by what Hanzaja said, and said angrily, then I'll get out of the car and won't accompany you to that party. Muniankai's threat was obviously effective. After hearing what she said, Hanzaja stopped arguing with her. However, Hanzaja was still worried about Muniankai dressed like this. Hanzaja didn't say anything else, but glanced at Muniankai from time to time, thinking about how to make the stinky girl calm down, at least add a coat or something. After arriving at the venue of the party, Muniankai walked into the club with Hanzaja on her arm, and immediately attracted everyone's attention. Hey? Isn't that Mr. Han and the daughter of the Mu family? What's going on with them? I don't know. Is it possible that the rumors in the circle are true, the Han family is getting married to the Mu family? It's impossible. Who doesn't know that Mr. Han is a playboy? They might break up tomorrow. Ha, you're right. Oh, by the way, Master Han's ex-girlfriend Shen Jiajia is here today too. It seems that I just saw it. It looks like there is something good to watch today. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 619. Chapter 619, How are you better than me? Muniankai followed Hanzaja, and after chatting with a group of people for a while, Muniankai sat on the sofa nearby. She didn't like this kind of place in the first place, so she just came here for a formality and had some fun before leaving. Hanzaja approached Muniankai and said to her, "Wait for me here. I'll be back soon. Remember not to run around." Muniankai raised her head to meet Hanzaja's eyes and said, "I'm not a child. That would be best." Hanzaja smiled faintly, then turned and left. Muniankai sat alone on the couch, drinking a glass of juice and taking a few bites of dessert from time to time. If the dessert hadn't tasted good, she would have escaped while Hanzaja was away, just because of such a delicious dessert. For her sake, she decided it would be better to stay a little longer. Muniankai originally had outstanding appearance and charming temperament among this group of wealthy ladies. In addition, she had no male companion, so it didn't take long for her to attract many young men who came to chat with her. "Is this Muniankai, the daughter of the Mu family?" Muniankai looked up and saw a boy with a decent appearance but a slightly naughty smile staring at her with a smile. Muniankai glanced at him angrily. "Yeah. It is said that Muniankai, the daughter of the Mu family, was born to be a great influence in the country. I never believed it before, but now that I have seen the real person, it is indeed true." Hearing these vulgar and old-fashioned words, Muniankai's face immediately drooped, and she shouted coldly at the man, "Who are you?" "I, Muniankai, am also someone you can chat with." The smile on the man's face immediately turned cold after hearing Muniankai's arrogant words. It turns out that the rumors in the circle are true. Although the daughter of the Mu family is good-looking and looks gentle, she is actually arrogant and domineering at heart, and she looks down on others the most. I'm Leng Tianyi from Leng's Real Estate." "Never heard of that." Before the man finished speaking, Muniankai interrupted him mercilessly. The man saw that the situation was not right, so he no longer persisted, so he had no choice but to tuck his tail between his legs and walk away in despair. "I thought I could at least leave a phone number, but now that I think about it, it would be great to leave a little life." Did he provoke her? Why did Muniankai look like he wanted to eat people? Several more people came to chat with me, and they all came in excitement and then returned disappointed. Muniankai is so choking. At this time, Muniankai was drinking juice with her head down, and she felt a dark shadow coming over her. Muniankai thought she was here to strike up a conversation again, so she didn't even raise her head and said coldly, "If I want your Grandma Mu's phone number, it's better to inject her a few more times to improve her genes." "Hey, are you so loud?" Muniankai heard a sweet and sharp female voice, and then looked up, only to see a beautiful woman with long wavy brown hair, flaming red lips, protruding front and back, and exquisite and charming facial features standing in front of her. The girl flashed a pair of big eyes with thick and long eyelashes. She looked at Muniankai maliciously and said angrily, "You have the same figure as an undeveloped junior high school student. Except for your better-looking face, what else about you compares, to me?" Muniankai frowned when she heard this. What did that stinky woman say? Dislike her poor figure? She. Muniankai's eyes fell on the girl's chest. Damn it, this at least has an E, right? Looking at herself again, Muniankai swallowed silently, not daring to say a word. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 620. Chapter 620. How dare you hit me? I don't know what Mr. Han likes about you, I really don't see anything feminine about you. The woman said, deliberately focusing her gaze on Muniankai's breasts. Muniankai began to regret that she was wearing a tube top today. Compared with the person opposite who was wearing a tube top, she really looked like an underdeveloped junior high school student. However, Muniankai finally understood the reason why the woman was upset with him. Is the co-author the ex-girlfriend of the scumbag Han? Oh, maybe I have connotations. Muniankai said, neither humble nor arrogant. Huh, connotation. I think you are just a vixen. Master Han and I have been close for so long. Without you, we would never be separated. The woman said angrily. Hey, who is that woman? Is that the one who quarreled with Muniankai? You don't know this. Isn't it Mr. Han's ex-girlfriend Shenjiajia? The eldest lady is said to have a bad temper. She must have felt unhappy after breaking up with Mr. Han, so she came here to look for her. It's Muniankai's trouble. Haha, that's interesting. The young lady of the Mu family is not someone to be trifled with. Let's wait and see the show, I said. Muniankai stood up slowly, met Shenjiajia's gaze, and said unhurriedly, Hanzija has so many ex-girlfriends. According to your stupid logic, you are also a vixen to his ex-girlfriends. You. Shenjiajia gritted her teeth and stared at Muniankai, you are making excuses. Young Master Han is with me because he likes me. Then he doesn't like you now, but likes me. Do you have any objections? Muniankai slightly raised her lips and smiled. Heh, a guy like you is no match for me. Mr. Han is not blind. Shenjiajia's eyes widened and she said to Muniankai. Yes, he is indeed not blind. Muniankai stared at Shenjiajia with dark eyes, and then said, I guess you must have spent a lot of money on your face. Well, you really worked hard to keep Hanzija. But well, Hanzija likes me to be so natural. Muniankai stared at Shenjiajia with a look of disdain. Shenjiajia was stabbed in a sore spot by Muniankai, and she was trembling with anger. With so many people present, Muniankai actually accused her of plastic surgery in public. This girl is so arrogant. If you keep talking nonsense, believe it or not, I will whip you. Before Shenjiajia finished speaking, a hot slap suddenly hit her on the left side of the face. Shenjiajia's ears rang for a while from the slap. It took a long time to recover before she realized that this girl Muniankai actually slapped her. Others also took a breath after seeing it and watched the plot unfold with bated breath. Oh my god, they say that the daughter of the Mu family has a bad temper, but I didn't expect that she could actually suppress Shenjiajia, a notoriously evil girl. As expected, none of Mr. Han's girlfriends are fuel-efficient lamps. Tisk, 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 where did young Master Han go? I don't know who young Master Han will help when he sees it later. You stinky girl, how dare you hit me? Shenjiajia's eyes widened and she waved her arms to fight back at Muniankai. At this time, a strong arm grabbed Shenjiajia's arm and stopped her movement. Shenjiajia, what are you kidding about? The sound was as cold as an ice cellar, making everyone present tremble. Hanzija appeared just in time. Everyone even wanted to get a bucket of popcorn and watch the show while eating. End of this chapter.